Ark is one of the worst games ever made. What other game beats you down and basically makes you restart from the beginning? I mean, what other game is extremely repetitive and takes forever to progress? Okay, but what other game needs mods to make it replayable and enjoyable? Alright, last one. What other game makes you want to throw your controller out the window every single time you die? Yeah, I'll stop there. Look, Ark took everything bad about every other video game and threw it into a pot and then added dinosaurs. And when you try this weird dino stew they've made, you find out it's actually not that bad. So, it was time to play the weirdest game ever, even weirder than the time a guy offered me a pack of Pokemon cards to suck his dick. So, we started up a new world, and with one brand new Charizard in my collection, I decide I really don't like this place. So just like my goldfish, I ran off a cliff, and I ended it all. You see, I wanted to spawn a good place to make a base, because the most important thing in Ark is building a base. So I eventually came across a good base location. Now you may think it's not important, but my high school does, since I get an extra credit point if I have the coolest base. And I haven't been able to function properly since getting a 99% in Holocaust studies. That's right, Mr. A, I haven't forgotten. And sure, I may have already graduated high school, but that doesn't mean I can't go back. So, please hold. I'm sure this won't take any longer than it does for me to have sex. So, I was only a little bit off. Say around 11 hours, 59 minutes, and 23 seconds. But, of course, I was going off my best time, so no need to brag or anything like that. But the best part about this base is it's 100% legit, and it took me forever to make... Moving on. Now, the first thing we'll need is items. Luckily for you, I know an easy way to get them. Spirit and Chaos Dodos. You see, these have a chance of dropping primal bows and primal arrows. So run up to one and call it dad like you would a stranger, and soon you'll see the life drain from its face as it blows itself up. Placing down a sleeping bag is going to help with this endeavor, but once it's dead, run over and pick its pockets for its wallet, I mean its items. And you're going to want to do this over and over until you get yourself a nice looking bow and a lot of arrows. The first type of dinosaur you're going to want to tame is, well, a normal one. I tamed 2 normal trikes in order to get some normal dinosaur eggs in order to make kibble to move up to toxic dinosaurs. And after toxic comes alpha, and so on and so on. So, it was time to go tame our toxic... Never mind. Apparently a Chaos Dodo snuck up behind me, and clearly you could see how that went. So we tamed ourselves up a toxic turtle, but we were going to need something that could kill. So I went out and found an Elder Moss Chops and tested these arrows out. Turns out they were a lot stronger than what I thought they were. But hey, after taming this thing up, trust me, it is 100% worth it. Not only are they great at gathering resources, but they're also a killing machine. If you don't believe me, well, Phil here, which I accidentally named Hill, is going to show you how strong he really is by taking down an Apex Indominus Rex. For those of you who don't know, the order of progression in Primal Fear goes Toxic, Alpha, Elemental, Apex, Fabled, Omega, Celestial and Demonic, and finally Spirit and Chaos, being some of the most, if not the most powerful tames you can ever get in this game. But now it was time. There was no going back. Either I walk out of here alive with a beautiful egg, or I lose my tame and possibly all of my equipment. Luckily, I always carry plan B on me. I always have a plan B. So I knocked it out, and now I get to whittle it down and hope that this works. Please hold. it appeared that my plan B worked a little bit too well because there was no egg anywhere on the ground, which means that I was probably going to have to wait for this thing to wake up, and hopefully when it does, it would drop an egg. In the meantime, let's start progressing normally by going out and taming an alpha. In case you were wondering why we need alpha dinosaurs when we can just get an apex, it's because you need the previous tier's eggs in order to make the kibble for the next tier. For example, I tamed the toxic turtles so they'd lay me toxic eggs so I can make alpha kibble. This goes for every single type of kibble, so you're going to need to at least tame 2 of every special type of dinosaur. So, with my Roofy arrow, I knocked down Alpha PT and tamed it up. Y'all call me Bill Cosby the way I've been knocking my wait a second. Y'all call me Chris Breezy the way I'm laying in on my... Wait, no. Yeah, so... we're going to pretend like that didn't happen, and I tamed a second one, which was also female. Y'all call me Mike Tyson the way I'm laying in on these After I got back to the base, I went over to go check on the Apex Indominus Rex, which had woken up around this time. Well, it wasn't dropping me an egg, so I came up with a great idea to maybe poke it a little. I got stuck, and then as I was running away, my PT decided, hey, that stone looks pretty cool. Yeah. I got so many choice words, you have no idea. I wanted to take revenge for Neon Rider, so I decided the best way to do that was to tame an elemental. You see, elementals have damage over time attacks, and they can fly over the Apex Indominus Rex, meaning that I could hit it with my long range attack, back up, and wait for it to slowly but surely die. Hunting skydivers finally paid off as I shot this ice griffin out of the sky. I named her Wendy and was ready to get my revenge. And so the intense fight began. And just like that, it was already over. Honestly, this fight was really boring, and I'm not going to make you sit through that. But I wasn't satisfied. I would not stop till I had my own. So when I came upon this happy couple, I had the intent to kill. Dude, where is this egg? We then hatched up our Indominus Rex egg, and we will never touch him ever again. And that's because we went out and tamed this purple little pony. Oh god, that's gonna make me a brony, isn't it? But either way, this was easily our best tame, and honestly, one of the coolest of the entire playthrough. Not only is it extremely fast when flying, but it also can knock out pretty much anything as long as it survives a hit, which has led me to want to go tame a demonic immediately. But first, we were missing a few dinos, such as Omega and Fable, and oh, would you look at that. Now we have a way to get ourselves a demonic, and I could finally relog and get this weird ass glitch off my goddamn screen. Now you may be asking, Hydra, what demonic is it that you're gonna get? Maybe something powerful like a Cappy, or something small and fast like a Methapithecus. God, that is such a fun word to say. Or maybe I'll go the meme route and get the demonic Parasaur. And to you, the kind viewer, I say, if you didn't read the screen already, then it's obviously something all three combined. It's powerful, fast, and a complete meme of a tame, yet so evil that every single ARC player shivers at the name of them. That's right, I'm talking about the demonic Terror Bird. Not only does this monster's level match the amount of hours I have in this game, but it's the biggest size it can be, giving it a large increase of health and melee damage. But taming it would not be easy, as, oh look, we tamed it. Now, we were ready to start playing the game. We were finally ready to start origin hunting. Origins, although very weak at this stage, drop one origin blood and their own type attribute. Now, in order to beat Primal Fear, assuming you don't tame a big skeleton Rex, which, spoiler alert, you will need to kill 104 origin dinosaurs. So, after getting enough tributes, I spawned in the first real boss, the demonic Reaper Empress. And I'm gonna save you the boredom. This fight was not interesting whatsoever. But luckily it did go quick enough for me to show you everything that basically happened. But let's move on to a real fight. The Celestial Indominus Rex is what I would say. However, when you kill a demonic Reaper Empress, it drops a summonable version of him. And since the footage got corrupted and the game got corrupted and I pretty much lost everything, we're gonna pretend like, everything went perfectly fine. And since everything did go perfectly fine, you can see how this fight ended. Wow, cool, thanks. Feeling a bit cocky after this fight, I thought it'd be a good idea to spawn in the Spirit Boss. This did not go well, and it was a complete mistake. And so, after waddling my ass away, I had realized that we had hit a wall. We were gonna need a strong tame, something even stronger than what we had now. And well, remember that giant skeleton Rex I was talking about? It was time. So, I pulled out my origin arrows and got ready to tame myself one. I aimed, I fired, drew its aggro, and, well, I died. Luckily, though, I didn't miss, and we kind of just sat above him, waiting for him to get knocked out, since if we got anywhere near him, he would easily one-shot any sort of tame that I had. You see, I say this because I would soon totally forget that I have a demonic Reaper Empress that I could have just used to defeat the Spirit Boss. But we're going to pretend like it doesn't exist, because I'm a goddamn idiot. But anyway, after taming ourselves up, the nice, beautiful purple people eater, it was time. This was a very close fight. If I didn't stop to heal whenever it used its strongest attack, I would surely die. Luckily, I was able to find out it couldn't use this attack as long as it was grounded. I was able to minimize the amount of times the boss would use its Detroit Smash, but I still needed healing, which this would lead to the biggest misclick of my entire life. With the very end of the fight approaching, I knew I had this in the bag. There was no way for me to possibly lose this fight. That was until I accidentally dismounted when trying to heal. I rushed back over with my terror bird, ready to cry upon my purple people eater, but I ramped right off of the boss like a goddamn idiot. I turned around, jumped off my mount, and I wasn't fast enough. But with the loss of purple people eater, I wasn't going to let it end there. I knew just one good hit would take out this boss and I would be able to get my own spirit tame. But this would come at a cost. I was able to defeat the boss using my demonic terror bird, but we took each other down in the very end. I know we lost two great tames here. However, I need a brand new tame, something even stronger. A new door had opened, and we were able to tame spirit dinos, and I had the perfect one in mind. I wanted to tame one for my own, but we were going to need Apex. We're gonna pretend like I got those legitimately. But I needed a dodo wyvern of my own. A spirit one. And there was no way I was gonna stop until I get one. So, after 82 world wipes and maybe a few console commands, well, it's not important. It was time. And so, with a heavy heart, I ended up missing my first goddamn arrow. God, luckily I had another one. And this one, I wasn't gonna miss. I somehow managed to dodge every single one of its attacks. I have no clue to this day how I managed this, but we'll just pretend like it was all skill and not luck based at all. But we were finally able to tame it up, and with this, it was time to move on to the next boss fight. You may have not known those two tames for long, but I had spent hours with them. And trust me, it still hurts. But I was not going to quit here. It was time. We were going to beat this mod no matter what it takes. For the two of them. I completely mopped the floor with this Chaos Dodo Wyvern, and honestly at this point, it's just a bunch of grinding. I gotta do a lot of grinding. So, let's skip all that, and let's get straight to the boss rush. This fight had nothing interesting going on, except for the fact that I kept getting grounded. That was the only annoying part. However, this kill will not satisfy my bloodlust. I needed to kill everything. There would be no boss in my way. However, with this death, I earned the Ascension item. This would make celestial dinosaurs even stronger than before. However, I had an even greater plan in mind. Next was Nova the Destroyer, and other than getting launched across the map a couple of times, nothing really interesting happened. However, with this death, I would get the Dissension item, an item used to power up demonic creatures. But again, I had an even greater plan in mind. The first step was to go out and tame Purple People Eater 2. This would be the tame that beats Picon's Revenge. And after combining an Ascension and Dissension item, we were able to go even further beyond. It was time. This was the final fight. Sure, there were a few bosses in between here and there, but I skipped them because they were boring as hell, and honestly, this is the main event. So, it was time to fight Picon's Revenge. This fight took over 30 minutes, and the only thing that was interesting about it was at random points you would just stop and do nothing. This was the most anticlimactic fight ever. Imagine if in the Avengers, when Thanos asked for an Infinity Stone and the Avengers just said no. And Thanos goes, "Oh darn," and then just goes home. I would still feel like that would somehow be a better ending than this. This was just, it was so bad. But Picon's revenge defeated, and the mod is now practically over. I want to thank everyone for watching. If you enjoyed, please like the video and subscribe, and check out my Twitch and Discord below. This has been your perfect guide to Arc Primal Fear 100 Days. And as always, be sure to take care.